Camera I'm using is the Panasonic Lumix LX100 and I'm shooting at 25 frames per second, which should give it a near film look. Also, I have it set for 4K mode, which should also look pretty good on normal HD. International Drive is quite diverse with its scenery, and this is one of my favourite areas because it's the most picturesque, with all the trees and plants strategically landscaped everywhere, and there are lots of trees. Just behind the cluster of palm trees lies the Embassy Suites, and that's next to the hotel that we were staying in. It's a real beautiful morning, and I love shooting when the sun is this low, which does cause extreme shadows but does illuminate everything facing the sun, which I normally prefer to keep behind me. This is November and it's a good comfortable temperature. The theme parks probably won't have woken up yet. It'll be about an hour or two before they do actually open the gates. There's a lot of hidden treasures along the strip, and that building that is partially visible is the Olive Garden. Now that's an Italian restaurant, it's very popular and it has a good atmosphere, and it's very good at night as well. And here's a better look at the Embassy Suites. This is just one of the many hotel resorts in the surrounding areas. Actually, they're all motels, and they cater for different types of budget. You see these walkways, they do appear neat and tidy, and you often see landscape gardeners about, especially first thing in the morning. So they're pretty much on the ball to keep the whole place looking good. And just up ahead you may just see the top of the observation wheel. This is known as the Orlando Eye. That's a recent addition to the drive, and if anyone remembers the Mikado village, that's where the attraction is now, together with the Sea Life Centre and a Madame Tussauds, as well as lots of restaurants, bars and shops. For non-US visitors, these crossings can be a little confusing. If you have a walkway without pedestrian signals like this, then you can carefully cross, although you'll also find that cars will still carry on crossing this at the same time, but only if you're not blocking them. It can seem a little bit scary if you're not used to it, but it does actually work. Now over the back there, that's just one of the many adventure golf courses. And they do put a great deal of attention to detail in all of them. This is the Pirates Adventure Golf, and one of the leisure activities that is popular for when you want to take a break from the theme parks. International Drive in itself is pretty laid back, but there is so much happening at the same time. Now this crossing has a pedestrian signal system where you wait for the white man to appear, and once he does you start to cross. Then you notice a countdown. And once this is in process, for anyone just coming up to the crossing, it is supposed to wait. And there you can see the countdown signalling in the other side of the road. Obviously, if you're already on the crossing, then you continue. Here's a proper look at the Orlando Eye. And as I said earlier on, this was the site of the old Mikado Mediterranean village that was demolished many, many years ago. And the site has been completely flat and desolate until a couple of years back. So it's nice to see the area back in good use again. Yes, they also have small fountain area, which also comes into its own at night. The landscaping looks good here. They have made good use of the space. All the attractions are inside the building, which is where the tickets are also sold, and you can choose whether you wish to purchase a single attraction or two, or all three in a package discount. Here's a look from the Universal Boulevard side. This one's about 400 feet high, but about 40 feet shorter than the London Eye. And this also has carriages as opposed to pods in the UK counterpart. I believe there are 4 attractions owned by Merlin under the Eye brand. That's the Coca-Cola London Eye, the Blackpool Tower Eye and the Skywalk, which is also in the UK, the Sydney Tower Eye and Skywalk, and here the Orlando Eye. Now, I've been on 3 out of the 4 attractions, and they all start off with a 3D cinema experience before boarding, so I'd imagine that the Sydney Tower is no exception. And normally you just step onto the moving ride, but I do know that for anyone with a disability and could find it difficult, then you'll find just by speaking to one of the attendants, they'll be more than happy to stop the wheel and tell you safely on. Here we go. It's not a thrill ride, but it will give you some of the best views of Orlando. And it takes roughly about 30 minutes to complete the whole 360 degrees. There's a glimpse of the Castle Hotel. There, the big white building with spires. That's the entrance where we came in, and that's the fountain we saw earlier. Now you've got the Westgate Towers almost straight ahead, and the circular building to the right is the Sheraton 4 Points. And if you look on the horizon to the left, it's Doctor Doom's fearful ride at Universal Islands of Adventure. Now, if you want to see more views from the Eye, then check out my channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you can be up to date with any of the new uploads. Watch out for the nighttime upload, where everything takes on a completely different atmosphere, and again it's all in 4K. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again on YouTube.